Welcome to my kitchen. This is Barry from OHAV. I'm giving a demonstration now on how to prepare the dough for the Hamantaschen next week. So, as you can see, I laid out some of the ingredients that I have on the recipe. Here's the 2 eggs, half a cup of sugar, quarter of a cup of oil. As you can see, it's the lemon juice. I squeezed my own lemon juice, and I also got the lemon rind with scraping the lemon on the side. The vanilla is added to the lemon juice, and I have 2.5 cups of flour here with 1 teaspoon of baking powder. So to start with, what we're going to do is we're going to take the sugar and the oil, and we're going to combine it. Now, I chose to use this small electric hand mixer. Usually I'm using a larger mixing machine, but for our intended purposes, I wanted to be able to demonstrate how everything's mixing, and I'm going to use a clear glass bowl. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the sugar and the oil together with the mixer. And we're going to try to do this for at least a good minute or so, 2 minutes, so it kind of combines. As you can see, I'm going to try to mix it a little faster. You want to get it to the sugar is starting to dissolve into the oil. And mixing away. And now I'm going to add the eggs one at a time, slowly, into mixing. And what this is doing is it's kind of, you can see it's becoming fluffy. It's almost starting to look like a mayonnaise because the oil and egg combined does make mayonnaise. But I'm mixing it nice and slowly together so it gets to a nice creamy consistency. I'm going to let this go for a good minute. Maybe I'll even raise the speed a little bit faster. Really fluff it up nice and smooth. And this is aerated. Now I'm going to add the lemon juice and the vanilla to my mixture. And I'm going to add the lemon rind to the mixture also. And a pinch of salt. Mixing that up well. Okay, now that I've completed this, and this is mixed pretty good, I'm happy with the consistency of this. Putting this aside. And I'm going to take the flour and the baking powder and I'm going to sift it together. I like to sift everything so I know that it's evenly mixed, the flour and the baking powder. Combined it in a hand sifter. And you can see me mixing this thing up. If you don't have a sifter like this, you could put it into a food processor, or you could just really mix it up with a wire whip. But since we have this, we might as well use it. Right? So, putting everything aside. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine the flour with the mixture of the eggs and the oil and the sugar. So it's a slow combination. It should look crumbly after the mixture is completed. And you can see a little bit at a time, mixing it up. Slowly. You see the machine starting to get tired a little bit, but looks like it's going well. Put that on the side. And I am mixing this up until it looks like a crumbly steak. And at this particular point, I'm going to shut this off and I'm going to the hand mixing from that point on. So now I have the dough here and I'm working it, and I can feel it's starting to form together, but it's still crumbly. So what you have to do is you have to add a little bit of water. Some people use orange juice. I'm going to use a little bit of water, just a drop, like a tablespoon or 2, to help it form into a dough. And when the dough starts to form, you could feel it. So it needs a little bit more water, just a drop more water. It's a little dry. And you mix it together like that. And the dough is starting to form. And if it's still sticking to my hands a little bit, I'm going to take a little bit of flour, and you have to sort of work the dough. You have to feel it, and when the dough starts to come off your fingers and doesn't stick to the bowl, you know you're getting there. A little bit more flour. Now it's starting to, my hands are starting to be cleared off, and I'm mixing it, folding it, and now it's becoming a dough, a working dough. It's not cracking. Feels good. You see the way it's not sticking to the bowl? It's not sticking to my hands. I'm going to take the dough off here now. Now the next step is I'm going to form it. Put it down on the table here, and I'm going to form the dough. So it's just about something that I can put in the refrigerator. Okay, so now I'm taking the dough, formed it into a small rectangle, and we're going to refrigerate it, the dough now. Take saran wrap. And I'm going to take the dough here. Put it in the saran wrap. And pack this thing up. Nice and tight. I put a staple for that dough, but I didn't. Okay. Now I'm going to take the dough. We can take this dough and we're going to refrigerate it.